I'm trying to think. So there's Minecraft. That's, this was 5, and I was getting very confused with 6 for some reason. Just the way I was looking at 4 and 6 for some reason was confusing me. I don't know why. Oh, jeez. What was I gonna say? Bruh. Excuse me. Well, there is Minecraft. To discuss. So Minecraft. I have been I want to say it was the beginning of 24, actually, that I was like, I'm gonna do a survival series, it's gonna be awesome, I'm gonna go into creative, I'm gonna do a bunch of things, and I mean, I was gonna, you know, like, do a whole thing, I was gonna do a survival thing, I was gonna build up a giant city with mine colonies, and then I started that, and then I went into creative, and I never went back into survival, and yada yada yada. And then I got too big for my britches, objectively, and we're already done with the planet. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, so I am so that was with 119. And now we're in 120.1. And I have just mapped out the survival world, because it's a new map. I've mapped out, or I've scouted out a new location to put the city. We'll see exactly how everything plays out. My plan was to reuse the map, but the map does not want to load, so had to make a new map, had to find a place in the same biome, except there's the fact that I added more biomes, so that sort of messed things up. Messed things up royal. But I found a place. It's not quite as great. Possibly. It's on, like, before I was on, like, an ocean. I was actually, like, basically on 2 oceans. Well, I guess an ocean and a sea. Probably. Now, I am, I'm on a river, a very wide river. I'm in a mountainous area. But, it has, I think, my idea, so the idea of Moss Alien. It had to be Moss Alien, it had to be in a specific location because it was named after the flowers. Well, Cosmos and Dandelion. But there's also poppies, which are there because, yeah. And it had to be, like, terracotta became, like, a really key element of the build, so there needed to be terracotta. Like, with Create and all the mods that I have, you can farm terracotta, it's not that big of a deal. But, you know, it's good to be able to source the stuff locally, so that's a thing. However, new thing, big new thing, very mountainous regions, volcanoes. It's gonna be crazy, but I am hopeful. Very hopeful. Maybe too hopeful. So yeah. My hope is to, so I need to get all the blueprints done, and yeah, sorry. So Mosellian, the idea of it is build a city, build a factory that's building all of the essential things to build more city, and then basically build a tower, and then build an island on top of the city, a floating island on top of the city, and make it this sort of platform thing. Now, I am going to rethink that a little bit, because, I am going to rethink this a little bit because of the way that the area is set up. So, there is a little cove, with an island in the middle of it. I want that island to be where my factory is, in order to do that, like, properly. In order to do that properly, it's not big enough to have, I don't think it's big enough to have, space for the island and for the city and the base. So the city's actually going to have to be, like, it's all supposed to be on a grid, and it is going to be on a grid. Maybe I'm just going to have to demolish those buildings, which, you know, that's fine. Not preferable, but I can work with that. But yeah. Yeah. That's that. And, oh, and also, okay, so if you're imagining Midgar, it's kind of Midgar. Except now imagine, like, okay, so imagine Midgar, but this entire section is, and obviously it's not to, you know, the scale of a giant-ass city, but, you know, it's just this nice little thing. Now imagine if you built a giant wall/bridge from one of those islands to another island, and now imagine if they were the vertices in a 2x2, well, the islands are the vertices in a grid, like a 2x2 sort of box thing. It could be more, it could be less, but yeah. So, and then in those boxes, in the space in between, is also going to be city. And, you know, for all I know, it could be more. I could get creative with where I place the walls. I had an idea. I had an idea in the original Mosellian, but it kind of, like, fell through because of exactly where everything was, and it just didn't make sense to do some things. Here, the problem is that I'm literally going to have to demolish mountains. I'm going to have to tear down mountains, which I think is fine. I think it's also really funny. I think it's really funny because, you know, Mosellian is, like, urban greenery to the max. Like, literally none of the buildings except the old town, which is basically before Mosellian gets its identity and the lore of it all. You know, yeah, it's urban greenery. It's like supposed to be about like safe. You know, they're supposed to be very conscious about that sort of stuff. And I might change the lore around a little bit. I kind of want it to be there's like a darker tone, a corporate, you know, overtone to the whole thing. And I'm kind of back and forth on the idea of building Mosellian as a survival world. I think what I'll actually do, I might build Mosellian in creative, and then I have two other like city things I want to build, like a very tech-focused city and a magic-focused city, and so yeah, I want to take those two, build those two up as well. Maybe not immediately, but who knows? And after that, I want to take, yeah, I also want to just, like, build up my own little mine colonies village and maybe just do a little bit of exploring and stuff. And whether that'll be a YouTube series, maybe there'll be builds, a build series on YouTube, and I'll just stream survival and, you know, some creative stuff, because that's what I've been doing for so long, and honestly somehow have not burnt out on it. Maybe a little bit, but like, you know, it's a whole thing. So yeah, with all that said, I mean, look forward to Minecraft, not in like the super near future, but it is a thing that is on my mind, that has been on my mind for a very long time, for YouTube stuff. And getting if I can get Mosellian done, that would be an amazing accomplishment. But yeah, until then, have a good day, great day even. Chowskis.